Today is my last day of wearing the Infallible Total cover. Again, this is in the shade 311. This is the one that I feel is going to be the closest match to my skin tone. The more I stared at the color, the more I kept wearing the foundation. I just kept saying, this really has a very neutral undertone to it. When you see 311 next to the other two colors, it does look, to me, it does look like it has more of that neutral undertone. What I did today is I purposely didn't put foundation as far back, you know, as when you start to blend it into your hairline. I purposely left a little bit kind of up here, and I can see the color difference between my skin tone and for the foundation. Next would be the actual coverage of this foundation. You're going to market a foundation and your display or your advertising is showing in which the foundation is going to, in a sense, cover up a tattoo. I'm expecting the foundation to be highly pigmented. I know I don't have a lot of imperfections in which to cover up, but I do know the areas in which I expect a full coverage foundation to cover those areas, as well as when I start to build up, really start to cover to the point where maybe I don't even need to pull in a concealer. As I started to build up on the second layer, it did start to cover those areas, and I didn't have to put on any additional concealer. So it did cover. Now it didn't cover completely, and so I'm expecting if it's going to cover a tattoo, I expect it to really kind of cover that as well, but it didn't. I have two spots on my nose here, and it covered that. It didn't cover it completely, but when I went to, again, lightly just kind of apply some powder there, I've already applied powder on my nose to kind of set the foundation, and we're talking very light. Then when I went in kind of with a little bit of contour powder, again, to kind of warm up my face, when I started to blend it out, and I'm not even blending heavy, it's just how I normally blend, I look in the mirror and I can clearly see the two marks on my nose again. So the foundation just pretty much blended away with my brush and with my contour powder. And speaking of powder, this goes into now the third topic I want to talk about, is the actual texture of this foundation. I have this thing about foundations that have that mousse-like texture. Whenever I put those type of mousse foundations on my skin, it turns dry for some reason, or it will start to emphasize. If I have any dryness on my skin, it emphasizes that. If I have anything lifted, like a dry patch or whatnot, it will emphasize that. I noticed that with mousse textures, and I just don't care for those. First time I put it on and I put my powder on top, insert the picture, it just looks dry on the skin, and there's certain areas where I can see it's drier than other areas. Maybe, you know, my skin is extra dry that day, but my point is it's emphasizing that. Now that's going to be my preference. That could be different with everybody, but for me and my skin type and how I know how I want it to lay on my skin, I just am not a fan of mousse type texture. So based on the texture, based on the color being still slightly off, again, the pigment just, it needs to be able to not move off the face. The two little marks on my nose should not be showing just by applying some powder. So just on those particular areas I wanted to touch on. And with that, we are done. That's my review and my opinion on the new L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. If this is something you've already picked up, you're thinking about picking it up, leave some comments. Let me know if you're currently using it, how it is working out for you. That definitely helps people as they come and they watch the video, kind of give them a little bit of feedback as well from other users. I do want to thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening. As always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye.